Ready under lights, under action, under camera!
You forgot the fan in the chamber!
Let's go, bub. Rookie.
Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut, bitch!
Nothing moves the blob. Let's go, bub.
Mics, bringing up my mic, unmuting everybody, and we are live.
Derek, are you right-handed?
Me?
Yeah, left-handed. Oh.
Right-handed.
Ooh. But that's been fun.
Oh, about the surgery?
Yeah.
How's that going, by the way?
It's good. It's good. I mentioned it just a moment ago, and I've self-proclaimed that I do not need to wear my sling around my house. But like if I'm walking around or something like that, I can really tell because it my shoulder gets fatigued really quickly. But
that makes sense.
That, it's not too horrible. So yeah.
Okay. So game stuff in relation. So first of all, we need to do karma for the month of March. If somebody would like to roll that beautiful bean footage.
I'll do it this month.
Okay.
8.
All right.
That means 400, I think. Yeah, 8 times 50.
Yep.
So I forgot to look this up previously before game. Which book is the talents in?
Good question. The talents is a separate section, primarily because what happened is between editions from the basic and advanced, that was one of the things that changed the most. So what somebody did is they turned around and they created a netbook of all the talents and actually came up with some new ones.
Do we have a link to that?
Hold on one second. Let me make sure this is the right one. I think this is.
Because
knows
I'm thinking
about
with all of his practicing, he should have some type of way of because I only have the advanced handbook, and Appendix B, which has all the talents in it, is kind of slim.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
But he's been working hard on doing those juke moves while he's flying. And I was wondering if there was a talent that applied to that. Something like pilot, but because I'm not flying a plane, I'm flying myself.
Okay, I put it out in our Facebook group so everybody could get a copy. It's on one of the Marvel sites that they compiled it, but I just downloaded it and just got it right there. The only thing to note from that list is I only use martial arts I think A through E were the originals, if I remember correctly. They came out with a bunch of different ones on top of that, and I'm like, nah, I don't need all that.
What, no Kalindo?
No, the martial arts in this are labeled by letters, not the actual martial art itself.
Making a werewolf joke.
Oh yeah, Kylindo, yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, so what I was going to get to after we got to Karma is that it's been a month since the events of the War of the Streets. So there has obviously been a little time lapse there. So if you need to spend Karma on anything, the month time lapse will allow you, within reason, will allow you to take care of most of that. So if you've got a new power in mind and you have Karma for it, great. If you've got talents you want to buy, that's fine too. So we can begin the game kind of discussing those updates.
So how's our lab coming along?
After a month, the lab is finished for the purposes that you wanted it for. So it's not like state-of-the-art or top-notch, but it can do, blood work and more sophisticated medical than you had before.
Except didn't we kind of hand that off to the what's-her-faces?
I don't know who's the what's-her-faces.
The team that we're working with.
The Aegis Foundation?
Yeah, them.
Well, we have a lot of that.
As far
kind
as
of
the
the tech-
blackout stuff? Or the dark?
Oh,
Well, you're talking about two different things then. I wasn't aware that you were talking about dark. I thought you were talking about the upgrades that the lab, you guys had put in for the lab where Dale had brought in some extra equipment.
There were a number of things that we wanted to do with the lab.
Okay, well, so then let's
One of
discuss them.
which was to sort of synthesize the drug and or Blackout's DNA. But what was the other
So
thing?
my understanding in that part of it, you handed off elsewhere.
Okay.
yeah, because we didn't have like the
Yeah.
genetics part.
Oh.
Like our lab is primarily like kind of manufacturing and testing things, it seems.
Yep.
Right. So we wanted to build our own technologies.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
But we did specifically say we wanted some genetics things in there, biology type, because of my expertise.
Yes.
That's right. We did want that.
Because you are funny creatures and I want to study you.
Yeah, that's right. And you're the team biologist now, trying to figure out how to rank powers and things.
Yeah.
How to gauge that.
That's
with
right.
my power stunt of encapsulating my uniform with this month, I need 3 more successes. Can I roll a few times to see if I get those?
You can. As soon as you fail one, though, it's done.
Okay. So, come on, roll good at least once.
So, question for you, Jerome. One of the
85.
things,
Is that a success?
That would be a success, yes.
So there's one more.
Mm-hmm.
I think it gives me 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 8. Come on. 2 more. 63.
63 is a green result. Yes, that's okay.
Woo! Barely. Come on. 1 more. Come on. 72. Yay!
Okay, that's good enough. So you
now
have developed that power stunt into a fully fledged, well, power stunt at that point. So now you no longer have to roll. You can just absorb or spit out said suit as needed.
Okay, so it's just a stunt that I don't need to worry about.
Yep.
And since it's something that's totally personal, it's just I'm either silver or in my suit.
Yep. There you go.
But I guess I would have to consider one thing, because it is not part of my limited phasing, because it's still fabric, correct?
That is correct.
If I were to phase through something smaller than what it would be able to go through, I would end up leaving it behind.
You sure would, yes. Which would look
But
very awkward.
I could phase through like a crack in the wall, and there would just be a pile of my clothes there.
Yeah, that's exactly what it would look. Yep. Your
Okay.
body would just basically discard it because it can't go anywhere with it.
Right. Okay. But as far as a puddle, it'd be a lumpy puddle or something like that. But yeah.
Yeah, it would just be a lumpy pile of costume and tubing.
Yeah. Excellent.
Okay, so Justin, you had something?
So how would you determine self-propelled flight? Would that be an acrobatics type of thing, or would that be a piloting type of thing?
That would be an acrobatics type thing. Piloting is for
Okay.
craft.
I wanted to double check because I was thinking I want to pick up one talent that is kind of like meh for like story reasons. It's for character develop, which is oceanography.
Sure.
And then I was thinking about picking up the acrobatics talent as well, since he's been practicing hair turns and things like that.
That would absolutely be justified. So drop your 200 karma and put those on your character sheet. What's up, Davy Jones?
Hey.
Hello.
They're quick.
And then real quick, my 400 went from a FE2 to a PR4 on my mimic power.
Okay.
And I still have 300 banked from before,
Okay.
but I just used the 4 for today. So.
All right. That's fine.
And during the downtime, once Aegis leaves that ocean area where he can like get to the waters again, he is going to do that promotional special
You mean the rivers?
Yeah, the rivers, as Freddy taking a look at the waste that's underneath it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Because his crew has been in strong for a couple weeks now, and they probably should do something while they're there. He's paying for it.
About a month and a half at this point.
But I figured that would be a nice downtime thing to do.
Sure.
Because it's something I prepped for before.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, Davy Jones concurs with you. I would oceanography as well, as he put it.
SMRT.
Smirt.
So, where do I live now? Did I get that apartment?
You sure did. Actually, that was going to be an update. So you have moved in with your roommate.
Oh, good. She's still alive.
Yes, well, you saw her. She was still alive.
Well, I saw her right at the beginning of the siege.
But yeah, she actually came back, but she didn't obviously go back to Fairside. She went to the new place.
Okay.
So for the outside of anything that you're wanting to do specifically, the month has been kind of spent picking up necessities to make the apartment livable. So you managed to get a good deal on mattresses, but crap frames for now, just because you're more worried about someplace to lay down than decor. And you managed to get some real basics. So like nothing fancy as of yet. You've got like plastic plates and cups, You've got a black and white TV for the living room. There is a phone, obviously for emergency purposes, and there's a couple like tables and some bookshelves, but you got all those used to make things last.
Do we have any chairs?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, nothing. You haven't had the chance to go out and get anything big or major, even though you've got the money for it. So you went out and got some like folding chairs for now.
Okay. Sure. Oh yeah. What about the gas station?
What about the gas station?
Do I still work there?
That is entirely up to you.
No, you don't work there because everyone here works at my company now.
Okay. Well, in that case, that sounds like a good transition.
During that time frame?
Yeah. Put in my notice. Now that I've gotten this other job.
All right. Well, Lorraine knew it was coming at some point. You know, it was like she explained to you in the very beginning. You were way too talented to be working there, but she wasn't going to sweat that too much.
Did what's her face end up working there? Okay.
Michelle?
Michelle.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So when everything obviously died down, she couldn't go to work for the time being because of everything that had happened. But yes, which that led to an uncomfortable conversation between her and Lorraine about her being deviant. So they have kind of kept that on the down low, for the time being, because it's not a requirement to, for job applications to disclose that sort of thing yet.
But that, I mean, it would make sense why she couldn't come to work because she was trapped in Fairview.
Yes.
So, Lorraine's good people. She'll.
I guess now that I'm employed,
and it's Fairside.
Whatever. Oh my gosh.
We'll never get it right.
I guess now that I'm employed by Hyperion, I have some resources to compensate for my lack of access to my actual resources.
So what are your resources, Hyperion?
My resources. Oh yeah. Speaking of that, like because we were getting whatnot moved from the company kind of into the vein, you were saying that I was down one column shift resources until my company gets like able to replace stuff. Have they been able to do that?
Oh yeah. By this point, they have, yeah.
Okay, then at that point in time, at EX20 for resources.
Okay, so then those of you who are officially quote unquote working for him have a TY6.
So I have accessible TY6, but I still have an EX20 resource.
Wait, TY6 for resources?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Did we decide if I was working for the company as well?
That is entirely up to you.
Yeah, so Hyperion offered it to everybody. It seemed like everybody was agreeing. The position is going to be like, each of you is the head of a department based on your specialty, whether it's genetics, biology, applied sciences, whatever, and you'll have like a team beneath you, and each of you only needs to report to Hyperion. You don't have any other like managers or executives. That way we can just keep the communication between us and all that stuff.
I like it.
And I figure does
the company have an ocean team or like a disaster recovery team, stuff like that?
You would have the ability to decide if that's like one of your focuses that you want to do, if it's going to be focused on like anything regarding the ocean, great. Because that's right, I've got to have a discussion with my executives, the other executives, because I plan on changing the outlook and the plan for the company, where it's no longer going to be just a consulting firm. The plan is to go from quantum consulting to quantum unlimited, where now that we have all these people, and what with the recent Fairside crisis, that instead of consulting other firms, we're going to be developing technology directly. And
Nice.
yeah.
He'll work for them as long as there's like a marine biology or oceanic studies, stuff like that.
Okay.
He could work for you without.
So it sounds
being
like
out
what
of
Dale
place.
is saying is, guess what? We now have that.
Yeah, exactly. Like whatever you guys are masters at or whatever, you can be the head of it.
And that would partner right in with what I'm looking at anyway, because I have animal behavior biology and alien studies, which my alien studies was a focus on Earth entities, period. Both animal and human, because you guys were aliens to me.
Yep.
So the only one that I wouldn't be studying would be Dale. Dale's character would be Hyperion, because he's an android.
Yep.
All right.
But other than so I've got the background, or at least I've got some studying of oceanic, because I don't have any need to breathe, and I'd go down there and probably hang out at time to time after I'd landed. And then I've also observed land creatures. So
wait.
So with that said, would that bump me up, because I'm already at a good 10 for resources?
If no, it wouldn't bump you up. What you would do is you would write them both on your character sheet.
Mm-hmm.
And if you decide to pool your resources to purchase something, it would allow you to make that purchase at a one column shift higher.
Okay.
Like
So-
separate income streams, more or less.
Basically, yeah. So if you tap both incomes coming in, you have as much as Dale for that, purchase.
They said it's a TY6, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you are within one column shift of any given power or wealth, or resources, I should say, or if you're within one column shift, so either way, front, higher or a little bit lower, they can basically combine to bump up the whichever one is higher one column shift. And so, Dale, were you getting any talents or bumping anything up on your character?
Yeah, and then I see the new talent sheet. Let's see here. I'm looking at mechanical engineering.
Okay.
And computer engineering. What was the other one? I'd probably be doing some assuming the martial arts A through E is the same as the previous, because I was looking at the book that we had previously as far as like the martial arts stuff. So then getting maybe a couple of those, if it's the same, it'd be martial arts B and martial arts C. I'd be like training in the danger room and all that.
Yeah, and if you see anything with a star next to it, it means it costs more than 100. It's basically 200.
Okay.
Because it's technically 2 skills.
Gotcha. Okay. Right. So that's my plan for the talents. Those 4 for now. Keep a few karma, and so then with regard to changing how Quantum Unlimited works, I put it to like the executives already had. That because of the recent Farsight crisis, and that's kind of that's probably going to open the eyes of the world to like how deviants are being treated. For like a few things. First, the company no longer is going to refer to them as deviants, referring to them as empowered humans or empowered.
Okay.
Because deviant is this normalized slur. And let's get away from that because it's hurting everybody. Second, be putting out marketing for power consultants. So those individuals who are empowered, who don't want to use their powers for being a hero and whatever. Not everybody wants to like just use their powers for like combat or something. Well, we want to study your power and see if we can emulate that with technology. So be a power consultant. You get benefits and pay, and we watch you do your thing in a controlled environment. We test you in different ways. You sign waivers. We make sure we don't hurt you or anything, so that we can see if we can emulate powers or degrees of them for awesome technologies. And this is also going to help hopefully bring a lot of empowered kind of out of poverty and stuff, like dealing with Fairside.
Okay.
So try to put that to the team to see if we can like get that up and running, whether like we need funding for that or to see if like our marketing department or accounting thinks that we're capable of like pushing forward with that initiative.
Yeah, well, I mean, all you really have to do is just put it to your HR team. You know, I mean, you're the boss.
Okay.
It's not like you answer to shareholders or anything.
Sure. Okay. Cool. Then yeah, that's our goal. That's what we're doing. We're gonna push for that and market ourselves accordingly. Where now we're dealing with the public, commercial technologies and so forth.
Okay.
So yeah.
So while you guys are working on all of your self-improvements and getting your business in line and so on and so forth, in the media there has been obviously some updates. The government is looking at the Fairside crisis, and they have also started working with humanitarian efforts to the displaced individuals of Fairside, giving them obviously the option to move back in if they want, or to remain where they're at and receive. What they're trying to do is minimize the impact. So they're trying to push together a bill which would be paid by the state. To provide like a limited emergency subsidy for those individuals who were displaced because of the crisis. The governor of the state is facing a recall, and that the vote is actually up in roughly 2 weeks. They've got a couple of contenders that are out there at this point. Many people pushing heavily one way or the other. Given the nature of it, a new terminology has been entered into the lexicon of the world. It's kind of being pushed around in the Western states due to a number of different ways that it could happen. But the end result is ultimately people who displayed no sign of the deviant gene somehow coming up with powers of their own. So as a way to differentiate between the two, the new term of meta-active has started to circulate both online and through the news media and whatnot.
That's people who have powers but without having the gene that gives them powers?
Correct.
Got it.
So non-deviants.
And they're called meta-active?
Yeah, meta-active. Or SPB, which is still kind of a police term, superpowered being.
And they're grouping everybody, both the empowered, what we refer to as the empowered or deviants previously, and these meta entities as the SPBs.
SPB is a generic term. Which has usually been associated with just somebody with a superpowered being. It's generic in the sense that it could also be somebody of alien origin or mystical origin or something. That's what they line it up with. Deviant was something specifically given to those who have the deviant gene, who for whatever reason mutated and poof, they've got their thing going on. Meta-active is something different, where some sort of science intervened and provided them with whatever it is that they've got. It's still hazy on the nature of the origin, but they're doing that to differentiate between the two. It's unclear if it's because the anti-deviant types are wanting to differentiate between deviant and non-deviant, or what exactly. But it's a term that's currently in use.
During his TV, the special that he shoots, he'll actually support the phrase meta active.
Okay.
Because that's a softer way of saying, hey, I've got powers, without saying, hey, I am an evil person, basically.
No problem. So back to Brittany. Michelle has been working out. She's working part-time. And despite the fact that obviously she's been through a lot, there has been an uptick in her demeanor because she's actually, earning. It's not a lot, but she's, earning something and bringing something in, so she's not just sitting around at somebody's
mercy.
With the abusive situation she was at before.
Is she, how's her addiction going?
Still struggling.
Okay.
But better.
Okay.
So it's definitely something you're going to want to watch. But
as much as I'm there.
Right. But the biggest thing is what happened in Fairside. That's shaken her up enough that while she hasn't gone cold turkey, she's been pretty clean for the past month.
Has she, have we had a chance to talk about how blackout was the source of a lot of that?
Presumably, yeah.
Okay.
You could talk to her. Obviously, that most of that went well over her head. She didn't realize what the whole ordeal was about it.
Well,
but glad that he's behind bars.
Okay.
That has inadvertently caused anybody who has been hooked on dark, the prices of that particular drug to skyrocket. So that's one inadvertent thing that's kind of happened. But the news is, although nobody has any answers, they try to spin it in the positive of that there are people actively trying to work on something that will help suppress, those urges, sort of thing, and wean them off of that as possible. But it's like anything, it's science. It's taking time.
I'm going to purchase a talent in energy and particle physics.
Okay.
Because but that gives me a +1 column shift
for reason purposes. Yes. Unless it says something different.
Well, but okay, hold on. Where did it go? Energy to the application or research into new power sources. Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
So my powers don't go up, but perhaps any new technologies that I want to try. Okay. Ooh, so maybe that would be a good time to experiment with figuring out how to fly using this stuff.
That's what I was about ready to say, is that's kind of right up your alley. It would allow you... you're going to need other things for that, but it sounds like you kind of have Dale for that, but you could at least say, okay, well, if I...
You already had an idea for that, right? If I recall. I wrote
some
down,
ideas.
But...
During this month, I'd probably be trying to help everybody make extra gear for, suits and anything that takes care of mobility issues or whatever. Using my... especially if I can make use of my it's called hyper invention power.
You sure can.
I would also try and figure out if I can add sound to my illusions somehow. Since I have a talent in acoustics, it seems like would that be like a power stunt, or would that be okay?
Unless you're trying to do something technologically.
Yeah, no, that probably...
For you, it would probably be easier if you did it as a power stunt.
Okay.
So question real quick. Kind of thinking, with my power stun of encapsulate uniform, if we got the technology to where it was like nanotechnology on the suit that would allow me to take my suit with me through a small hole, in essence, right? Then wouldn't that encapsulate uniform skill allow me to encapsulate other things much more efficiently? And whereas like I could hold something in me, we had already established that like to a degree, but I wasn't good at it. Now I'm like, oh sure, I'll hold your wallet, kind of thing, just second nature kind of thing. That it's kind of just encapsulate then
For basic items, yes.
Yeah.
Only if you use that sound effect.
Right. Yeah. And then
go ahead.
And then as far as my mimic power, I'm just trying to gauge it so that way I don't walk in with my face off, I guess, or my pants down, but I don't wear pants, so that doesn't make any difference. But no, because of that, the mimic power was specifically so that way I could start incorporating color with my, impersonations. Like I could impersonate the shape of, Lightbringer, as a female shape, or I could impersonate, having gills, like obviously they're non-functional and they're all silver, right? But now because of my mimic skill, I'm starting to get that coloration and stuff like that. So what would be the extent of that? Like, it's just basic, like somebody at a glance might mistaken me for, Lightbringer.
It's just basic colors right now, and with your mimic being as low as it is, it's going to take longer. So you can obviously take the shape, no problem, but to blend is going to take a few rounds to do so. So it's not instantaneous.
Right. Okay.
I did have a question, but we moved on a little bit quicker. So whenever I'm using the rocket power to like slam into people, would it help to have the martial arts A or B to assist with that?
Good question. I don't know if that martial arts B goes to your fighting. So no, definitely no on that one. That's the one I remember offhand. Get down there
because I was thinking martial arts A and D would definitely fit along the lines of some of the stuff that I've done before, where I just bam you in the face, and it's like, oh well, I think I'm gonna go unconscious for a few seconds. I'll be right back.
Let's see. Was it? But A definitely, yeah.
All right, because I was thinking about picking up martial arts A and D.
Yeah, if you want to, go right ahead. You're former military, so that would be easy enough.
How do you do power stunts again? I'm just making a note.
Power stunts requires 100 karma to start, and then you have to make a red result on your first initial roll. If you fail to do that, then you don't spend the 100 karma, but you also don't have the initial power stunt.
Must get red result, and then how many successes do you have to get?
I don't remember offhand, but it's something like 4 or 5 initially red results, and then it goes yellow results, and then green results, and then you eventually have it.
Okay.
A total of 10, though, right?
Yeah, it's a total of 10. You have to roll successfully a total of 10 times.
Because that's what I just did. I was just making sure that I had my.
Yep.
Right, yeah.
Okay, I'll go ahead and try that first one.
For what? Sound?
Yeah. 88.
88. And what's your power?
Illusion casting is incredible.
Oh.
88 is not good enough. So you're refunded the karma.
Okay.
And you can try again next game.
Okay. Dang it.
You were close though. If you'd gotten a 91.
Yeah.
All right.
Super tough.
Okay.
Like even a Z shift needs an 81 to start on a power stunt.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'll be at this a while.
That first one's the hard one.
Well, the first couple, because they're all red results.
I was starting off on remarkable 30, so I was sucking wind for a couple times.
Okay.
Yeah, speaking of, oh yeah, go ahead.
No, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say, so if it's possible to make some technology for people, I guess since Lightbringer has mentioned it a few times, I'd probably be helping her first to get some technological goodies, if at all possible. Hyperion probably would have brought up to you, like, possibly because you're like the combat medic of the team, to get some sort of
A very loose term.
yeah, but like compared to everybody else, you're the one who's
That's
there
all
and
we got.
can check people.
Okay.
So it's like when you're available, because you never had like just specific like tools with you at the time. So I figure some sort of like either mechanical bracer that automatically provides you with whatever it is, like hypodermic needles or bandages or whatever, like with just like button commands, or like a utility belt that provides you with that immediately, possibly giving you like a column shift or something when you're trying to treat or diagnose people.
That would be cool.
So you're working on getting her a med scanner or something?
Yeah, just kind of like a portable medical suite where she can, with like presses of a button or like a vocal command, she's got like whatever she needs medically to like treat injuries, just like an automated advanced first aid system.
Right. Okay, I dig that.
I think that too.
Why don't you give me a roll for your hyper invention?
Cool. All right.
Can I add my reason to any of this attempt?
Not to this attempt, no. The second attempt, basically he's trying to create the device that he's thinking of, and the second roll he's going to make is basically inputting the correct knowledge, which that you can add to.
Okay.
All right, so invention is incredible. Rolled a 54. Looks like a green result.
All right, so basically what you have come up with is it's a good way to put this. So the device itself, because it has to be stable. You can't just swing it around or whatnot. Basically, it has kind of like an arm brace that rests against your forearm and comes out and kind of like size-wise, it looks almost like a driver's side mirror, or passenger side mirror, something like that on a car. But it folds up for easier compaction. And it has a small little keypad that you can use to type in. It also has a port where you can directly input updates as necessary, which you were smart enough to put that in there. But the port is not universal. It's not like a USB or something like that. You can currently only update it here. So now you're attempting to put the necessary, as somebody said because they couldn't pronounce it, logarithms. I can't remember who, but it was a podcast I was watching. He was having a difficult time saying
Algorithms?
algorithms. Yeah, he kept saying logarithms. So now you can actually help with that. So Dale, go ahead and roll for your reason, and you are up one column shift because Brittany is at medical.
Cool. Okay. All right. So, and you said this is a reason roll?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Reason is amazing.
Reason is amazing.
Only got a 29 with that. Am I getting a column shift for that? Positive or no?
Yeah, you're up one column shift because Brittany is assisting.
Oh, okay. Then that'd actually be monstrous. So that oh yeah, okay. Then that is a green result.
Okay.
Sweet.
So you're going to want to put down that you have a medical scanner. The material strength is GD10. So it's better. It's better than your typical pieces of equipment of this era, but don't go dropping it off a counter or whatnot. It still could break into a bunch of different pieces. And you have an effective scanning range of 10 feet.
What would nanotechnology go under?
For what?
Because I'm for a talent.
Because
I didn't see it. It's not under engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be robotics?
Yes, for nanotech, yes, it would.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure when they wrote it, nanotechnology was not a commonly used phrase.
Right.
No.
That's why I want to double check. So, and it costs 100 to get a new talent.
Yes.
Done. Now I only have 5 karma, aside from my 300 banked. I have nanotechnology, and I'm primarily, I'd be working with Hyperion a little bit, with his knowledges and whatnot, and working together to try to incorporate something. Start off with maybe a small items or that. Eventually, the goal is to have a nanotech suit for myself for my obvious reasons, but then also we're going like Iron Man here,
Right. No, I totally get it. Nanotech, however, is well beyond current standards of this era. So that's going to take a while to develop.
Right.
So then who else wants to try to get a goodie? Who would come up to Hyperion asking for help with developing something? Otherwise, I'm just going to help Lightbringer try to fly,
Okay. So with that then, Hyperion, you end up getting a call.
Okay, pick it up. Hello.
The message comes through and it's, hey, Hyperion, this is Warner's. I'm at Alpine Technologies, and I was wondering if you could offer an assist off the books.
I may be able to. What's your situation?
We believe there's been a break-in.
I see. Is this something that will require the team, or you simply need my expertise?
You may want to bring the team.
Understood. Are you there right now?
Yes, I am. I'm here right now. It's and she gives you the location of the Alpine Technologies building.
Understood, Warners. We will be there momentarily.
All right. Well, roger that. Thank you.
So, would the entire team be at the vein right now, or are we all scattered?
Probably. The only one there right now would be Ixion.
Okay. So I go ahead and communicator. Hyperion to Legacy. War Nurse is in need of our assistance. Sound off to see if you are capable of reporting into the vein.
On my way.
Affirmative.
Present.
So then I wait for everybody to arrive.
Okay.
And once everyone does, Warner's contacted us. She is at Alpine Technologies and needs our assistance with helping with a break-in. We should suit up and head out immediately.
He'll get suited up and ready to go.
All right.
Yeah. Also that.
So, since nobody else is doing anything, 5-ish minutes later, you guys are on the transport and making waves in the air. When you arrive at the building, they've got this, and this is a high-tech looking facility. So the building doesn't conform to modern structure like you would see like office buildings and whatnot. It's got that comic book kind of sci-fi look to it and whatnot. It's got the nice company logo sitting out front. Alpine Technologies is actually known for its medical tech specifically. And so you guys are brought in by their security. Their security look more like SWAT officers, so thicker kind of vests and fully supported higher powered rifles and whatnot. But outside of that, it's it looks like what would normally be a pretty secure facility.
Alpine is the place where we got a lot of our lab equipment, right?
No, you did you get yours secondhand or did you go, because you had two different options?
I did. I don't remember
if you did the secondhand option from that contact you got yours from Health Systems Inc.
Well, good. We hook them up. Do something. Do them a favor now. Maybe we'll get some good stuff in return.
I didn't write down which one we were gonna do.
Okay, so the assumption then it was Health Systems Incorporated, because that was the one you guys had the most information on at that point in time. Okay. So
that's fine.
Not that it's
I've heard of this place, but we haven't.
Yes. Oops, that's not. Oh, or is this the one I wanted? Yeah, this is.
Health Services Inc.
Yes.
Okay.
Do the guards look tense?
They do.
Okay.
They take you through one of the back ways through, so you're not seeing anything that might be proprietary or problematic for them if that information got out. When they bring you into the facility, which you actually have to get through a set of large blast doors to get into. Warners is actually already in there talking to somebody, and she breaks off from talking to them and comes walking up, and she says, and she just immediately says, "Thanks everybody for coming. This was something that, like I mentioned to Hyperion, we can't really have getting out. It could be bad."
Sounds serious and ominous.
It is. When I get to what it is that they were working on. They were working on that dark serum, the drug specifically, and they came across some interesting findings. I think you guys know that it was based off of Blackout's DNA.
That was our assumption.
Okay, which that apparently is not inaccurate. However, they traced it back to an old World War II super soldier serum.
Meaning that dark came from a World War II super soldier serum, or that it was combined with?
That I don't know. We just, from what they've told me, is that it looks like his DNA was infused with this serum, and he was modified on a genetic level.
genetic engineering, then.
Well, that is what the serum was typically done, but given it was World War II, it was often haphazard. Many of the major players at that point in time were trying to develop what was believed to be the next breed of soldier to win the war. Primarily the Nazis, but others as well.
Do you have any of this information available that I might be able to briefly go over? That is part of my area of expertise.
I do not. That's something you'd actually have to talk to Alpine Technologies for.
I would be more than willing to sign a waiver or an affidavit that I would not release any of this information. But it would aid us to see what sort of things if this is something that we need to counteract, it would be very viable and very helpful if we have some of that information.
I don't know if it's something that needs to be counteracted in so much as the information was stolen. What Alpine Technology tells me that they've been able to track is they've been able to they discovered a decaying tachyon particles and a trace amount of Cherenkov radiation.
Teleportation occurred.
It would have to be. You walked through the blast doors. There's no sign of any sort of struggle. And the alarms apparently didn't start going off until whatever happened.
Was it digital or was it paper?
She says a lot of their information right now is still paperwork, with working on backups to digital. So I believe whoever broke in probably absconded with their work on this serum.
Do we know if they were original documents or copies?
I don't know. I would assume they picked up copies.
Then the information that was stolen was from within this room we're in.
Or one of the nearby rooms, yeah. That's the problem they tell me with with the combination of those decaying particles and radiation is the spread.
Can I rock an intuition on seeing to see how honest they're being with me?
Can you? I'm sorry. Do what?
Do an intuition. See if they're lying.
It sounded like you wanted to use your rocket power to determine if they were lying. It's
like, sorry.
I'm like, that would be an interesting use.
Rocket
awesome
intuition.
Power stunt.
I say rocket a lot of times. It's a
Yeah, go right on ahead. That is a perfect use of intuition.
Only a 26.
Okay. You're not certain. The only thing that you are certain is it does seem to have instilled a little bit of fear in some of the scientists you see walking around. Don't know if that's sincerity or not, but clearly everyone is on edge.
Is it possible to install some sort of dampening device within the facility similar to what was that we had encountered previously?
Well, given the break-in, I think that their security is looking into that, but they unfortunately did not have that available.
Right.
As this is kind of I don't want to say it's a new thing, but it's clearly not been prevalent until now, it seems.
It's becoming problematic. This may be a similar entity or force who we know has used teleportative technology before. And it also seems that they're able to use it with relative frequency. We'll need to look into this.
Isn't it did not Xion mention that she had to know the place before she teleported there?
We do need to make more experimentation to see exactly how her teleportation works, but I would think that the fundamentals are the same. She does need to know where the location is in order to effectively teleport there. But hers seems to be natural.
And know somewhat of the surrounding obstacles, if you will, so that way she does not inadvertently teleport into something, which could be catastrophic for her and any other. If it were an organic being, yes. That being said, it would be plausible that the people that have done this may have been here before. I don't want to say an inside job necessarily, but perhaps visitors that have been here and may have known what is going on.
Bless you.
With that
Bless
in
you.
mind, War Nurse, do you happen to be privy to knowing if the records of this building are publicly available?
No, they're definitely not. That much I do know. This is because they have government contracts. That's been scrubbed, especially the laboratory we're in.
Then they would have needed to have inside information or have done reconnaissance of their own. Assuming that's how that their specific teleportative technology functions.
So one of the scientists, calls Warner's over, and she said, the guy says, "Warner's, I think I've got something here, not in relation to the particles, but maybe this will be helpful." So she walks over and looks at the screen, and the screen's it's actually showing like a DNA chain, and it's actually showing a breakdown, kind of like a chemical map of the serum, and we found a close match to the serum. Within a 90%, within a 90% guess rate, and she says that's awfully high, and she clicks over and pulls it up, and the file attached to it is actually an old file that was from World War II, and the hold on one second. I thought I had it here. Here we go. The formula is actually what it shows. The compound. It's a formula called sacrum, heart, innervation, eyes, lungs, and derma, or shield for short. And so she looks at that, and her eyes go wide, and she goes, "Oh no, 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 no!" And she looks around, and she says, "We've got to go. I know where they're going next."
Where are they going?
They're going after Joe.
Joe? Which Joe?
She says,
We'll talk about it in the jet. Let's go.
okay, so then you guys are off running, and as you guys are running out of the compound back to the craft, she says, Joe Higgins, a.k.a. the original SHIELD, World War II hero, he was the one that actually received that serum. On an out-of-character note, he's an actual comic book character from the golden age of comic books, if anybody wants to look him up.
Nice.
A similar situation as Captain America.
Well, back during that era of comics, that was not uncommon for that sort of thing to happen. So yes.
Right. Okay.
It was kind of a trend to do that, and I wouldn't be surprised if we have another wave of anti-Russian comics come out here in the near future.
Yeah.
I'm not getting political. I'm just saying we have a history of the way we write.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just thinking the other day, one of my favorite old school shows is Scarecrow and Mrs. King
Oh yeah.
with Bruce Boxleitner, and it's very much like Cold War stuff.
Mhm.
And I was thinking, I wonder if this stuff is going to be relevant again.
Oh yeah. So as you guys are running up there, and she said,
Out of character, is Shield still alive, or at least known to be alive?
"Shield,
It
yeah,
doesn't sound.
yeah."
Okay.
She explains that he's actually retired, and tells the pilot, that you need to go to Park Hill in Hemet, California.
California?
Land in the field of the African savannah.
I knew Derek would get a kick out of that.
You know, the animals are gone now.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I drove past there one time. I was like, hey, we should go by here. They used to have like zebras and gazelles and impalas, and I think they had
Zebras
a
are
giraffe.
jerks.
Yeah.
Just saying. We actually still have reserves like that around San Antonio, where you can actually go out and see zebras and stuff like that. They're fine with most of the animals, but they tell you with the zebras, roll the windows up because they will lean into your car and bite you.
Dang.
So as you guys race back to the craft, and of course the pilot takes off and starts flying in the direction of Southern California.
Haven't there been a number of World War II heroes going missing lately?
She says, Amazing Man is still missing.
I wonder if that has anything to do with this.
I don't know.
I'm going to contact Aegis and let them know where we're headed to.
Okay.
When he reaches out to them, he's going to ask them to follow up and send out any warnings to any veteran of World War II. That might be an SPB or meta active, that they need to be on their guard.
So spread the word to the vets. Will do.
And see if they can can we contact Shield?
She says that we don't exactly have a phone in here, I don't think, do we?
Can we have the Aegis Foundation do that? See about contacting him and let us know if you if you reach him, please.
Oh, he'll ask them to actually send out people to Shield. If we have anybody on ground at near San, sorry.
Nope. Him in California, nope. They do not. At this point, the pilot says at current speed and velocity, we'll be in Southern California probably within about 3 hours.
Where are we at?
Colorado.
We each have a. Do we have what do you call them? Like communicators for the Aegis Foundation?
You actually you do, yeah.
Okay.
Worst comes to worst, the jet can probably do short range communications as well.
Yeah. So on the flight over, is anyone doing anything in specific? Any other ideas or whatnot, or are we just in for the ride?
He's going to prep for this because he knows it's going to be tough. I forgot to ask, have any of the wounds from the that last conflict healed up?
Yeah.
Oh, what about your head?
Your heed?
Well, I'm talking like the Bernie wounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's been like a month, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you are healed.
I was just checking because that determines a couple extra things about the my power set that may or may not come into play.
Fair enough.
Which means that at least as far as he can suss out, the effects aren't permanently detrimental. They're temporary and they can be healed through.
Yes. All right, so as everybody is kind of on the balls of their feet and anxious for what's happening or what's going on. So Hemet, California is a small former retirement community in California. Park Hill specifically is a hill that kind of goes roughly a mile at this particular time frame. It's got a couple of nice houses on various parts of the property. But otherwise, it's completely fenced off, for those people with money. So there are plenty of places to land. And the craft at this point, he's not even waiting, for permission from anybody at this point. He's bringing it to land in one of the fields just before you, because the hill isn't terribly big. You could hike up and down it, within 20 minutes tops, if that. And he brings it down in the field, and of course the animals that Derek had mentioned are here. Currently, so some of the some of the horses and the zebras, and there was a giraffe or two that kind of run off, and then the house itself sits nestled back up between. Oh, thank you, Game Tease! Yay for the sub! Thank you very much. So the house itself is nestled kind of back up against the hill with a couple of nice trees that are older that provide a lot of shade. It has kind of a roundabout. It has kind of a roundabout as you drive, as one might drive up the driveway. But on either side of the driveway, there is fence that goes all the way across. As you guys are landing, there's actually people on the side of the road who had been looking at the animals, and of course are seeing this craft descend down, and now they're like onlookers like, ooh. And Warner's, as soon as that thing is coming down, she's bailing out the back of this thing to racing up to the house,
Following after.
okay.
On her heels.
Just bolting as fast as she can. And as you guys get up, it doesn't look like anything has happened, as far as you can tell. Everything looks pretty quiet. And that's when you see the front door open up, and you end up seeing a man with kind of a all black outfit. Hold on one second. Hold on. This is who I want. I will get you a visual, no less, but I'll also describe it because that's not going to help the people who are watching. Oh, what the heck am I doing? I remember tagging myself in the doc for the links, so I shouldn't have an issue here. Here he is. Doink. No, and I clicked on the wrong one again because that was going a little too fast. That's the one I want.
Yay!
There we go. Okay. So this guy is dressed in what appears to be a classic Nazi uniform, complete with the gloves and the boots, the red strap with the swastika decked onto it, with with an officer's hat on. He does have a gun at his side. He also has a bullwhip. And 1 second. I'll throw this up on our Facebook chat. Facebook chat.
Okay.
And he is flanked by several soldiers who could pass for modern day Nazi soldiers.
Don't like that.
Although they don't have the red sash, you do see that they have like lapels on or whatnot that has like the swastika on it. Their rifles, they're actually utilizing AK-47s at this point. And as they see they come racing up and they see you there, they don't even hesitate. The guy yells out, "Open fire!" So roll initiatives.
6.
percentile, right? Or
just
1d10?
Just 1d10.
8.
1. That means I go first.
Because you're number 1. What'd you get, Dale?
6.
6. And Justin?
6.
All right. And
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Okay.
6, 7.
so Derek, you and the NPCs are up, so they are firing on everybody. So there's 1 apiece as they open up.
All right. Trying to shoot something back at them, so at least maybe deter if they're pointing at us, and I want to blast something to where their hands go awry and deflect.
So you're trying to make an ice shield?
Similar, yeah.
Okay. Why don't you give me an agility check then?
Agility. Come on. This is where they need to roll high. Come on. 71. Not super high, but
Okay. So 71. What's your agility?
TY6.
Woohoo! Okay, so you spray your ice and crystallization forms like right in front of you. The rounds shatter parts of the ice, but you don't actually get struck. I'm gonna presume that you others are trying to dodge, or are you gonna take it, or?
If we dodge, does that affect like future rolls during the combat?
It depends. It could make it a little bit more difficult if you're out of position.
I'm dodging.
I was hoping to do something to where I would shield or interrupt them for to protect multiple.
Yeah, you were only able to get yourself with
Okay.
with what you rolled.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna dodge.
Okay. Brittany's dodging. Justin's dodging. Dale.
I will not dodge.
Tank, 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 tank. Okay.
You can't dodge it, ram it.
Okay, and go ahead and roll, Brittany and Justin. And Justin, you now have agility, or not agility, but you have acrobatics. So for purposes of dodging, your agility is going to be up 1 column shift.
Doesn't help out though.
I have too many windows. Whoop.
Yeah, 22, and I'm still on a typical 6 because of my other powers that kind of negate it.
Gotcha. Okay, well.
So with my column shift, I got 33 on incredible, so I am just barely on the green.
Okay, all right. So, both of you get. Well, Dale obviously gets shot. Dale, what is your armor? I know you. I'm not worried about the uniform, but you have like an EX20 to start, right?
Yeah, so the legacy armor gives EX20. My body armor ability is GD10, so I've effectively got an RM30 in total.
Okay. And no, the legacy uniform provides good.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I could have swore it was the other way around. I thought you had the higher amount, but the uniform was providing 10.
So do we add that to whatever our endurance is then?
No.
Or okay.
Yeah, how does that armor work as far as damage?
It takes off damage. It doesn't.
It takes away hit points worth of damage. Yeah.
Yep. So, Dale, what is your body armor then?
My body armor ability is GD10.
Okay, so then you have a 20 total.
Oh, okay.
So these rounds pepper you, but you don't feel anything breaking through. between what you're wearing and your natural form resistance, it is a bit too much. And those rounds are just pow, 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 pow. I mean, you can hear them slapping against you, but no joy. Brittany ends up getting caught. The armor absorbs all but 5 points, thankfully, so it's not a whole lot. However, they did get a red result on you, so you need to roll your endurance.
88 on
On what?
remarkable.
Okay. So this is one of those times where you get shot, or I say not one of those times you get shot, but this is one of those times where the initial damage isn't all that bad. It's what they struck, and the round caught you right here to the neck. So you are not dead, but you are bleeding pretty badly, and you're going to need medical assistance almost immediately. So you haven't like gone down or feeling woozy or anything, but you with your medical knowledge know that
this is bad.
Yeah.
You're up the poo-poo creek.
You're not sure if it struck something worse or if it was just like a pretty nasty flesh wound or whatnot, but it's bleeding and you need somebody to look at it quick. Justin takes a hit, so you take a whole 5 points of damage because it punches through your suit.
So endurance?
No, not endurance. The round that she caught was particularly nasty. Yours was just they caught you in the torso somewhere.
So that's also with my uniform accounted for?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That changes my action.
Okay, and Warner's turns and opens up on one of them with a what appears to be a shotgun, and when one of the guys gets struck, he's covered with this goopy-looking foam. It's like,
that came from the shotgun?
Well, the round, when it hits him, it blows up and becomes like this concussive foam or whatnot and throws the guy kind of backwards, and it's starting to pin him to the ground.
Nice.
Woo woo. They're non-lethal rounds, basically.
Yeah, provided you don't shoot him on the mouth.
Right.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Breathe now, punk! Okay, so that was the top of the round. So then now it is Dale and Justin who are acting on the same round.
I really want to burn that guy. I really do.
Which one? The one of the guys who shot you?
The guy who shot me.
Okay.
However, I like my meager 600 karma. I don't think he's going to be able to survive plasma to the chest.
Yeah, maybe not.
It's
good that you're recognizing that, though.
I am going to throw up use heat emission.
Okay.
That way, all future shots are done at a disadvantage.
Okay.
And I'm going to do this as I roll and I get up. I'm going to keep walking like nothing happened. Nothing like walking through gunfire and just standing up and going, all right. That is going to be 79 on a heat emission is an amazing.
Well, it's not your heat emission that we're worried about. It's an agility check to shoot.
Pew!
Oh, okay. Then 79 on a typical.
Well, that's still potentially a hit. That's still that's a green.
It's green.
Yeah, it must be green. Okay.
Yeah, it's green.
So no, I know that was that was Fifth Element.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. It must be green. Okay. Super green. So you extend your hand, and a beam of heat goes flying out. striking the guy in the chest, and you can clearly see his uniform getting hot and smoldering around him as he screams in pain and gets struck by it. Now, your power rank is a 50, correct?
Yes, it's amazing.
Okay, and you did not pull your punch. So let me see. Oh, good roll. All right, so he hits the ground, and he's kind of moaning at this point.
Let's see. Like, as far as game mechanics go, if you bring an enemy down to 0 hit points just by like typical physical hits, does that kill them, or can you choose like that's knocking them unconscious?
That's actually a great question. It depends upon the rating of your strength. If you are going superhuman strength, you're probably going to pulp them. But the nice thing is, if you roll high enough, you don't have to go all the way down their health. You can, with blunt attacks, you can, if you get a red result, you stun them.
That's right. Okay.
So you could potentially knock somebody out without having to go through all their health. Like you just cold cock them, good enough, and they're like, oh, and you drop.
Oh, worse a little heat'll do is give him heat stroke. He'll live.
So it also depends upon the type of attack you're doing too. So keep that in mind. So edged attacks, for example, if you like a sword or a knife or something, if you're swinging that around and you get a red result, that's a potential kill result if they don't make their endurance check.
Right.
So same kind of thing.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's see here. Because my thought is, how many dudes are there in total? There's the main dude, and then how many mooks does he have with him who are shooting at us?
He had 4 with him, one of which is our one is struggling, one is down.
Okay, gotcha.
You said 4 or 5?
4.
So there's a total of 5, though.
There are a total of 5, yes.
Right. Okay. So then my thought was to just close the distance and charge at the leader.
Okay.
But since my endurance is incredible, I don't want to, like you said, pulp him. So, and I want to hit him, but I guess pull punch if that's possible to make sure I don't just kill him outright if he's not strong enough.
You absolutely can.
Okay. All right. So it looks like endurance roll.
So you need to roll for fighting for purposes of hitting. Yeah, so basically you're going for a body tackle. So
okay, gotcha.
And your damage for that would be your endurance.
Okay. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Got it. Right, does my martial arts come into play now?
What martial arts do you have?
I've got martial arts B. Let's see, that's +1 CS to fighting ability when engaged in unarmed combat.
Yep. So your fighting is 1 column shift up for purposes of this body tackle.
Okay, cool. Good. All right, so that means cool. That puts it up to incredible, and the roll is only 11.
Okay. So that missed because we didn't get a chance to call this yet. Would you like to roll to see if you get an extra action? One of the nice things about having a fighting at higher ranks is if you roll successfully, you can take more than 1 action. So at a IN 40, let me pull that back up. I think it's RM 30. I know AM 50 gives you 3. Let me see. 2 attacks around. Okay, so go ahead and roll. You just need remarkable or higher to do this for purposes of fighting.
Okay.
So you may be able to. You may not be. So you obviously failed on the body tackle, but if you roll high enough on your fighting, you may be able to still swing on him.
Okay. 64.
That is good enough to take another action.
Sweet. All right. So since I'm going to assume I'm like pretty much right next to the dude now, he just kind of sidestepped or whatever.
Yeah, he rolled with the impact a bit. You didn't quite catch him like you had wanted, but you're still up in his face.
Okay. Then I will go ahead and punch him, but pull my punch so that I don't kill him.
Okay. So are you angling in for a stun attack? Trying to go for like a knockout punch or dizzy him or something, or
effectively knockout punch. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, roll.
Wait. 69.
And you have an IN 40 for purposes of this attack. 69 is not a stun like you had wanted. It's a slam.
Oh, okay.
So he failed his endurance check for that one. So despite the fact you tried to body tackle him, you turn around with your super strength and drill him right in the jaw. Doesn't knock him out, but you send him like 15 feet the opposite direction. Just boom! Just head over heels, and kind of that comic panel where it's like that one connect and then it goes a couple panels over as you see the impact. Sort of thing. You like, boom! Slam that guy. He gets knocked up against a tree and is picking himself up looking really pissed.
Got it.
Give me an intuition check real quick.
Okay. 78. Intuition is excellent.
Okay. With your intuition at a yellow result, he took the full force of your punch. Okay. And you did some damage, but nowhere near what you thought you would have done.
Okay, so he seems to be super tough, more or less.
Of some, yeah. So you don't have to hold back nearly as much as you might think.
Got it. Okay.
All right, and Brittany, that is you.
So, what I would like to do is go invisible.
Okay.
And retreat either inside the building if I can, so that I can try and check on what's his bucket.
Okay, I will let you know before you finish. If you successfully go invisible, the grouping is spaced out enough after Dale's punch that you could probably, with a little bit of a sidestep, bolt into the front door.
Okay, and once I'm out of range, I'd like to do some field medicine.
Okay.
On my neck.
All right, give me a psyche check as you are clearly stressed and attempting to kind of juke the group and go invisible.
95.
Oh, look at that.
On remarkable.
She is focused, Daniel-san.
Suddenly,
that is remarkable.
Suddenly, like a predator alien, just as she just slips off to the side, and you just can't see her.
Can't see this. Doom, 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 doom.
And you're athletic enough as it is, so you kind of quickly do a sidestep away from the one guy who was looking for you because he had shot you. Can't see you now, and so he's just worried about the others he can see. You rush inside through the front door, and this is where it becomes a little bit more real. There was a fight in here, and you can see a wheelchair just in the immediate, basically the front door, and there's a little bit of a hallway, kitchen off to your immediate left. And then it's the hallway a little bit further, and the hallway empties out into a living room. And the first thing you can see, outside of course some furnishings, is there is an empty wheelchair.
Did we hear that? I'm just thinking out of character, but did we hear was he incapacitated in a wheelchair, or we just heard he was alive? Right?
He was alive and retired.
Can I was it's a little late to mention this. I was thinking we would probably have gotten more intel about this guy on our 3-hour trip there.
Mm-hmm.
Is it too late to retcon that?
No, but I will let you ask me 2 questions.
what does he look like?
Okay.
And what is
She
his
could have provided that.
status?
She wouldn't know that. She just knows that he's retired and lived here. But she would have provided you with what he looked like.
Okay. Good
Let
enough.
me guess, he's a handsome, strong guy.
He is actually,
In a wheelchair?
but older guy. Yes. She doesn't know about a wheelchair.
Okay. Do I see anyone that looks like that?
You see a picture of somebody who looks like that, but you don't see anybody immediately that looks like that.
Okay. Is my turn over, or can I attempt to patch myself up?
What is your fighting?
Remarkable?
What did I just do for Dale?
I don't remember. I was reading.
Wow, that quick, huh? I have to pay you back for the Ren Fair. I got to give you a little bit of crap.
What was the level at which?
So if you have at least a remarkable 30 in fighting,
okay,
you can make a roll to try and do basically 2 attacks around, or 2 actions, so to speak, rather than the 1.
write that.
And then if you have an AM 50 or higher, you can roll to try and do 3, which is one of the reasons why Captain America is so good and can hit multiple people with his shield.
That's just pure geometry, man. That's all that is.
He's like Pythagorean theorem.
Put that in my notes.
Okay.
All right, I'll give that a shot. 37. So that's
that is barely a green result. So that is enough. You were 2 points off that one.
oh my gosh. Okay. So then emergency medicine, it gives me a column shift, but what do I roll for that?
Reason.
Sweet.
And her thingy
Oh,
helps her too, right?
do I get another column shift for the med scanner?
You can't pull the med scanner out for something like this.
Okay. In that case, I get a 24 on monstrous.
Once again, by 2 points. Or you said 24? Yeah, so by 3 points, you hit the green result.
Wow.
So you just quickly grab like a towel or like a hand towel or something real quick and start applying it and you found like some you ended up finding some tape in like a utility drawer like nearby it or something, and you know, applying it and pushing it down and making sure it takes.
Okay.
It's not pretty. It certainly stings, but you know it's gonna help bide you some time.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so top of the round again. Mr. Nazi tries to crack his whip at Dale.
Crack that whip.
Are you going to take it or are you going to attempt to dodge?
I'm going to see if I can I try to grab the whip as he's doing it at me?
Sure, if you'd like. Go ahead and roll fighting.
Yeah.
You should give the man a slip.
Licorice whip. Man, 26.
Okay, so you reach out there and you miss. The whip lashes out, strikes you in the knee, and you end up catching 40 points before your armor of electricity damage.
Ooh.
Which I don't know if your body armor will absorb. Your costume, however, does absorb 10 of that.
Yeah.
Let me check out body armor real quick. I think it's mostly physical. Here we go. Nope. Doesn't specifically say. It just means it's artificial. So it's in essence like a shell casing to your exoskeleton. So you're able to absorb 10 more from that. So you take a total of 20. So. All right, top of the round, it is back to the minions and Derek.
Okay. How many? There's 2 are down.
1 is struggling, 1 is down, 2 are still up.
Okay, focus on 1, and I'm looking to freeze, I'm looking at freezing solid his hands that are holding the guns.
Okay. So he is
we're
actually
not covering mouths anymore.
So he is firing directly on you. So you're not dodging. I take it. Okay. So he is.
I might have some remnants of my shield left, but I'm not reinforcing it or anything.
He sidestepped that. So he's shooting at you. You are shooting at him. All you need is a green result.
Okay. And what am I rolling on that one?
Agility.
Okay. $76. The year I was born. Woo-hoo. I think that is a green.
That is a green result. So you end up getting peppered for 15 points of damage. 10 from your suit absorbs it. So you take 5. It passes into you.
And that's irrelevant of what my endurance is?
That is correct.
Okay. Because my health is based on my endurance, so that's why I have such a gnarly hell.
Yep.
Okay, so -5.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So not bad. It violently punches into you, and you're like, ooh, projectile. That doesn't feel good. But you zap him with your ice attack, and it doesn't just freeze his hands with the intensity that you have. It like freezes over the gun and his hands, so he's kind of like doing this, frozen together.
Good. And if he gets freeze and burn on his hands,
You'll live.
No, that was Sean's character.
That's par for the course, man. You know what? You play, you pay.
The other guy shoots at Justin.
I'm gonna dodge.
Okay.
49 this time.
All right. On an agility of what? TY6?
Physical.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said. Okay, that's a white result. You get caught again. Pop, 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 pop. A whole 5 more points of damage. The other guy is unable to get out of the foam. So at this point, War Nurse turns her rifle on the one that fired on you, Justin, and catches him as well. So he kind of gets knocked end over end, and some foam starting to grow to keep him capacitated. So that is their actions. So it is now Dale and Justin.
I have a question. Am I close enough to engage in physical combat with these guys now?
Yes.
I'm going to spend 50 karma, and I'm going to judo toss whip Nazi into one of the foaming Nazis.
He's too far away for you to engage in physical combat. So you can attack one of the foamed Nazis. You can attack the iced over Nazi. Or if you want to run and try and catch up to the whip Nazi who just attacked Dale, you can run after him.
Is the whip one the main guy?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Then in that case, we're sleeping the whip Nazi.
Okay.
And that's going to be an 89. I can do one thing right.
All right. So you take 15 points of damage. Dale, right after that whip like caught you, it looked like he was about ready to shout something, and he just like, and he just
Got
like
it. Okay.
stumbles over and face plants in the dirt. That brings us to
Okay.
Brittany. Or Dale, actually.
Oh,
Okay.
go ahead.
So then we've got two foamed. The whip Nazi's sleeping. Is there still one dude who's up?
Yeah, but he's got his hands frozen in a block of ice with his gun.
All right. And that's like the only somewhat active like combatant right now?
Yeah, I mean, he could club
Okay.
you with the ice, I guess, but, you know, he's looking
Okay.
very worried.
He's just chilling.
Chill out.
Chill out. Yeah. I go over to him and I try to go over to that guy and try to grab him and like kind of force him to his knees, and I say, "Have a seat." And like I try to get him to just sit down using my strength. So he can't shoot me or anything.
Oh, yeah, so you have a IN 40 for strength?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not even going to make you roll that. You were just far stronger than he is, and just force him, you know, forcibly to sit down, you know, on the ground. Brittany?
I'm gonna try and find Shield.
Give me an intuition check.
What happened to the other two guys? Real quick.
They're on the ground in foam.
19.
Ah.
19. Okay, so you hustle into the living room. You see that there were signs of a struggle. There's like stuff all over the place. You don't, however, see him.
Okay.
And as you are on the outside, as everybody's on the outside at this point, except for Brittany, you guys end up hearing a sound that sounds almost like if you walk anywhere in the dead of night near power cables, you sometimes hear that typical buzzing, that soft buzzing sound as the electricity is going to the lines. You hear that slightly louder, like enough to register, and then you hear almost what sounds like a door slamming, and the guy with the whip vanishes.
Reminiscent of what we've seen before on the videotape with the disappearing ship.
Well, the disappearing ship didn't have any sound. So
Okay.
if by meaning
Was there like a
disappearing,
flash or anything like
No.
similar or anything?
no
Okay.
no flash or anything like that.
Okay.
The ship, you mean Derek's ship?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. The other dudes, are they still there?
Yeah,
Like
they're
the
still
only one who disappeared.
they're still there.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to kick the guy that I got heated up into some of the foam. That way he's restrained.
Oh,
And then I'm gonna
the guy.
release-
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah, because he's unconscious. Yeah. So poof.
yeah. I don't want to kill him through heat exhaustion. I just wanted to knock his booty out.
Yeah, he's already out at this point. But when you do that, Warner's turns her rifle to him and like shoots him in the leg.
Okay.
And so
then
so foam goes, you know, and starts pinning him down to the ground right there.
And because obviously Whip Nazi, as he will be formally called from here on out, has been teleported away. If he's still holding on to the sleep effect, he lets it go.
Okay,
Because he doesn't know if it's going to have a long-term effect on his health at this point.
gotcha. Which is fine. So yeah, you let it go. So at this point, you're out of combat. So Warner's races in to help Lightbringer, you know, in the house. You end up finding a very beaten, crippled
Shield.
veteran who was in his bedroom.
Rude.
Can we... Now can I use my scanner?
You 100% can.
And do I get 2 column shifts for that?
You only get the 1 column shift, but instead of using your intuition, you will use your reason.
I will take that. 86 on
Oh, I know you got a good reason.
monstrous.
Okay, so you pull this out for your first field test, and Warner's is looking at you because it's a new piece of equipment. Like what the heck is that? And you start scanning over his body. His vital signs are weak. He is currently dying. He has like severe lacerations. You also detect he's got some broken bones. But you can also tell he is far more fit than he should be for his age.
That must be the super soldier thing.
Yeah.
This does not look good. I don't know what you can do, but he needs help now.
So she reaches into her bag, which you guys have had seen her pull out or had on her before, and she pulls something out and slaps it into his arm, and it looks almost like a syringe, but without the needle. So it's like pressed up against it. You hear like a pfft sort of thing, and something gets injected, kind of like Zydrate. A bunch of dead faces. No one got that one. That's okay.
Nope.
I was thinking it was an EpiPen.
Yeah.
I was thinking about like hypospray.
Yeah, me too. Actually, the HEPA spray.
Yeah, Zydrate comes in a little glass vial. A little glass vial. A little glass vial.
What is that from?
It's from Repo, the genetic opera.
Oh, I've never seen that.
It's one of the only musicals I've actually seen, and I saw it because it had like Sarah Brightman in it and a couple other people, and I was pretty impressed. I'm not usually for that sort of thing, but it was pretty cool. So anyways, I'll send you the clip of that Zydrate anatomy after the game. So she shoots it, and your scanner is showing he's starting to stabilize some, and she says we have got to get him to a hospital fast.
Yeah, okay.
I'll lift them and carry them out to the...
I was going to say, I'm not very strong. I'll find one of the boys.
On dry land, I'm at a 30, so...
No, on dry land, you're at a 50. It's the opposite. In water, you have a 30.
No, I only have a 10 strength.
Oh, you only have a 10 strength? Okay.
Yeah, so I'm a remarkable right now.
That means you can bench press a ton.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that will do it for him.
Yes. So
he's solid, but not that solid.
Yeah, you pick him up and start bringing him back out to the ship, and you hear the 5 people that had been out here for the animals and stayed for the show. They're like clapping and cheering and whatnot. As you guys come rushing out.
Do we let just sweep up the mess?
I'm actually going to stay here. I gather all them together. Real quick, Warner, shoot this last one.
Okay.
Get him down on the ground as well.
She cocks the shotgun.
And I'm going to go inside and call Aegis, like on the landline.
Okay.
And let them know that we need to have an affiliate or some type of what was that? The military, the government organization.
Hoplite.
Yeah, Hoplite.
That's to come out and pick up several Nazis helping super deviants. He'll actually use the word deviant in this case.
Okay.
Man, I need a glossary when I
Roger that. Are you going to be on site?
I'm still on site. One of our colleagues has restrained them with some type of restraining foam.
Safe.
That must be Warner's. Okay.
Yes.
You're going to want to keep an eye on them. I believe it only lasts for about an hour.
I will be on site, and I can put them all back to sleep if they decide that they want to wake up and be assholes.
Roger that. Police have been notified. Their ETA is 20 minutes. We'll be notifying Hoplite immediately.
All right, these guys don't seem like they're super powered, but I take no risk with things like this.
Understood.
Is this HPD?
This is HPD.
It'll be 30 minutes.
Yeah, not the most competent police force, unfortunately.
At least.
But yeah, he'll stand watch over these guys.
Okay. So then you guys get loaded into the jet. And she says, "I think I can keep him stable if we can get him back to Alpine Technologies. They should be able to help him."
Would cooling his body temperature aid? I'm only looking at what I can do to help, if possible.
She says, I don't know. I'm triage. She looks to Lightbringer. She says, "Does your gadget tell you anything?"
Sure, I'll try. That's a 19 on monstrous.
That
Really?
is
No.
Not quite.
yeah. Yeah, your luck of riding the rails on your dice rolls has run out. You were 2 points off from getting a green result.
Alas.
So you are unsure.
We can't get him anywhere closer.
She says, "We could get him to a standard hospital,
But that wouldn't
but that's a security risk."
oh.
And his biology will be different. They may not have materials and technology able to
Yeah,
help him.
I'm guessing because of the serum, they're going to struggle to find out just what that's all about. At least with Alpine Technology, they've got the formula on hand, or at least the old markup for it. That might help cut some corners and get him assistance.
Well, if we're going back,
Contact Alpine.
if we're going back home, then maybe more of us should stay behind with the angler.
Is there an Alpine facility nearby?
No, there's not. It's the only facility of its kind.
Then I will stay here with Angler. The rest of you, keep us up to date.
We'll send the pilot back as soon as possible.
I can fly us back.
Oh. Okay then.
So I join and making sure everything's cool.
Okay, so you at that point he race off and he tears off like the wind. I could have swore. Let's see if I still do. Okay, it's not there. Did I put it here? Nope. What did I do with it? Oh well. I thought I had the picture with the specs effectively on here, but I guess I don't have that here. Bummer. Okay, we'll have to look at that later. So anyway, so he is booking it at this point away from Southern California. You guys are staying put and watching over the remaining Nazis.
Can we contact Alpine to...
Yeah, it's assumed that you called ahead.
Okay. If need be, cool him down or anything to slow his body functions, or...
So as you guys see the HPD pulling up the driveway with the lights, flashing and whatnot, 2 squad cars coming up, you end up hearing that sound again.
Uh-oh.
I hold on to one of the Nazis while that's happening.
Give me an agility check.
Okay. Do I grab nothingness? I absolutely grab nothingness because I rolled a 1.
Oh. So you reach down real quick as you hear that sound coming up, and you grab dirt as the Nazi vanishes before you have the chance to hold on to them.
Did that happen to all the Nazis or just
Yes.
that one? Okay. I looked at Angler. Well, that was inefficient.
I'm gonna rock it up, and I'm going to scan the surroundings.
Okay. Give me an intuition check. And speaking of which, Dale, give me one as well.
74.
Okay.
And I am sitting on Remarkable, so 74 is going to be... Oh, yellow.
Okay. So you do see a helicopter coming in, the KTLA helicopter.
I got a
But I don't-
78.
Go ahead.
78 on excellent. Looks like it's a yellow result.
Okay. So as you're sitting, I mean, you grab dirt and frustrated in the sense that you couldn't stop them. It dawns on you that there must be some sort of a delay. Because why would they have got the one guy and not gotten him or gotten the others right away as well?
Yeah, so either they needed a recharge or just a delay for some other reason.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And comparatively, from when they left and the guy fell and this, time change, it's been about 30 minutes.
But I'm not seeing any of them sitting on the ground or anywhere nearby, right?
No.
Okay.
No, you just see the surrounding homes, and the palm trees as Hemet attempts to pass this off as, some sort of paradise. Some date trees and whatnot. And some orange orchards, but that's really about it.
Okay. And this is not the time to develop a new extension of my powers.
That's entirely up to you. Depends on what it is you're trying to do.
I was thinking about expanding out my telepathy to be able to scan for hostile presences. I'm not sure what that would fall under in the guidebook.
Telepathy is only communication. You are looking for empathy, so you would have to develop empathy, because that would determine how you intent, emotions, and whatnot.
Question.
Answer?
I keep forgetting I have danger sense.
Mm-hmm.
But according to the level I have, 36 seconds advance warning. And that ended up with a boost to my...
It should be intuition, I believe.
It was a boost to something. I can't remember. But I'm wondering how that works with, initiative.
It gives you the potential to jump on it if you remind the DM that you have it.
Oops.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember the powers that everybody has. It's not like Vampire where I can go like, oh, okay, well, I can kind of guess right off the bat because you're X-Clan. These characters can have kind of, the gambit of anything, so.
True. Okay. Sorry, continue. Read up on
Empathy is actually extension of telepathy.
Yep.
I just double-checked it in the book.
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and try to power stunt that.
Okay, spend 100 karma and try and get a red result.
Because I don't think that they're that far away. And no.
Okay, so you are refunded the 100 karma and are unsuccessful in your power stunt.
The dudes are teleported away. Did they teleport away with the foam?
Good question. Yes, they did.
Okay. And do I see... I'm looking at where they teleported from, just wherever I remember them being. Total memory. I should remember exactly where they were.
Yep.
Do I see any type of residual etching or kind of energy discharge where they were touching the ground or whatever?
You don't see anything of that nature, no.
Okay. Got it. And I guess seeing Angler up in the sky, I generate a copy, so it just kind of appears next to you, and I talk through it and say, "Have you found anything?"
No, I can't sense them, and that's not something I've ever done before, but I tried, and I can't detect them. We have media coming in, however, and since they're out of here, we have no way of tracking them. We have to stick around for the hoplites, so we
Correct.
can let them know what happened.
Agreed. I can't find anything here on the ground, but I believe I'm understanding more and more of how teleportation works. This also means we will need to develop a portable teleportation interference field generator. I'll need to work on that when we return.
Question: is it out of logic to determine that they might have had something on them that could have zeroed in on their location?
Nope. It is not out of the ability to reason.
It is also theoretically possible that they had a tracking device on them, which helps zero in on their position if it's longer range teleportation, but I still don't think they're teleporting from that far away. But I could be wrong. He'll start making his way back down.
Okay.
And he'll start talking to the police and explaining to them what happened.
Okay,
And
well, we can go ahead and fast forward through that part, because you had eyewitnesses that saw them vanish too, so it is not difficult to share that all with the police and the media, flying around and taking their pictures. Eventually, the jet comes back for you guys, picks you up, and takes you back to Alpine Technologies. So everybody has managed to get back into Strongford. At this point, Shield is in critical condition, but they are currently tending to him. They've got him hooked up to devices. They've got him being fed intravenously. They're also using some advanced technology to try and repair his bones without having to cut into him. So they're using a type of not nanotechnology but microtechnology to probe essentially and enhance. It's a combination of a microprobe and enhancing the healing itself. So it's attempting to heal the wound by itself.
Does it look like they took any, like a blood sample?
Great question. Why don't you give me an intuition check as you examine his body?
80.
Yes. You do find the small puncture wound in his arm.
Out.
So at this point, the doctors are kind of working with Shield to keep him. They've got the entire place locked down, and they've called in extra security. You guys are in like a break room with War Nurse at this point, and she's given an update to the Aegis Foundation as to what has happened.
Can I have her look at my neck also? I mean, it may be hard to do that. She may be able to do a better job than I did, in combat by myself.
Yeah. Well, that's her training. Oh yeah, 100%. So now that you're someplace where you have the appropriate cleaning technology and bandaging it up, you would have bled out because it had nicked an artery, but thankfully it wasn't bad enough that you would have been all Monty Python spurting everywhere.
Great.
So she's able to bind you up enough and put on basically repair it enough without having to do stitch work and just kind of bondo it down sort of thing with
yay, super glue.
Yeah, well,
you're lucky it was a gunshot wound, not a rabbit bite.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Big, sharp, pointy teeth.
Okay, do I need further treatment?
No. Just make sure I mean, you're medically inclined as well, so just make sure you keep it clean. Don't jerk your head around to, possibly aggravate the wound. So basically just be careful.
Okay.
Guess the Rammstein's concert's out, huh?
So it's my French Revolution reenactment.
Give them cake. No, not today. Not today. I've got to sit this one out.
Okay, good.
So she relayed after doing that, she relayed that all into the Aegis Foundation to, explain to them like what has happened. And so one of the doctors comes into the room where you guys are waiting, and he says, so Shield is still in critical condition, but we have him stable. He's unconscious, so he's unable to speak. He has lost some blood, but thanks to your intervention, he didn't lose a critical amount. So we're able to get his blood type and start him intravenously getting some blood back into his system.
Have y'all tried communicating with him at all?
He's completely unconscious, so it's impossible for us to do so currently.
Can you tell what types of injuries he had that caused the blood loss?
It appears that some of it was subdermal. He received quite a beating. The only puncture mark we found was the spot that Lightbringer had indicated. It looks like somebody had taken a sample from him. The rest of this is just somebody was trying to beat him to death.
So they took his blood sample and tried to get rid of him.
I'm not trained for criminal forensics, but that would be my guess, yes. And it would make sense if they already had the plans for the serum. All they really needed to know was, his direct DNA to see what made it adapt and lock on. So once they had that, he was expendable.
Do we know any other super soldiers with similar background that may end up being targeted?
We are looking into it. There were a couple, but we're trying to. But given the a lack of Freedom of Information Act, where some of them are concerned, obviously they are wanting their privacy, and it is difficult to find some of these records. But the ones we are aware of, we're trying to reach out to.
I'm gonna try and talk to him.
Sir, he's unconscious.
And I am telepathic.
So he just shrugs and holds the door.
I am gonna spend some karma on this roll.
Okay.
And I'm gonna spend 50 because I don't want to mess this one up.
Alrighty.
Which, funny enough, puts me at 555 experience points.
Nice.
That is gonna be a 53.
You rolled a 3?
I rolled a 3.
Alrighty. So, you walk in there and you reach out with your mind and you don't feel anything to connect to.
Like, no, like, is it an absence of mind, or is it like I can't touch the mind?
Yeah, you can't touch the mind. It's like the phone is hung up.
Okay.
In my experience,
Sorry.
would that indicate that someone is comatose, or would it more indicate that someone just can't come to grips, Or
That is a
it like
great
shield?
question, and since you're not psychically inclined outside of your telepathy, you are unsure.
Okay.
You are right now a cell phone user of the mind. You know how to press the buttons, you know how to make the calls, but you couldn't open it up and say, oh, hey, this board does this. And so for you, that's kind of the way your telepathy works. You would have to speak to somebody who was well-versed in the mind to understand, the workings therein like that.
He will try and essentially leave a message. Shield, you're in a hospital. You're at God, I'm horrible with names, and my brain isn't working tonight.
Alpine Technologies.
We are at Alpine Technologies Hospital. You are critical but stable. We are trying to reach out to your friends.
Okay.
And he'll give it a moment again to see if there's any response, and of course there isn't one, right?
Nope.
And then he'll go ahead and sever the connection.
Okay.
And I look to Angler. Were you able to touch his mind, speak to him?
It was weird. I didn't sense anything. And I don't know if that's like, if he's in a coma, or if maybe because when he got his abilities, he might just have a really strong mental shield around him, and unless he lets someone in, it doesn't come in. I'd have to reach out to someone who's a master of telepathy.
Perhaps someone at the Aegis Foundation is an expert in that field. I go up to Warner's.
Mm-hmm.
Warner's, do you know of anybody, an agent in AF, who is a master telepath?
Admittedly, I haven't been with the group that long, so I'm not sure. I would have to ask around.
We can do that at a later time. Well, is there anything else that you're needing us for? We should see if we can find some other way of determining what's happening with regard to S.H.I.E.L.D. or the Nazi agents who arrived.
Are you asking this of Warner's?
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
to see if she has
she's
any-
shrugging at this point. She's like, I don't know. I'm kind of lost in everything that's going on outside of what we've just experienced. That maybe the scientists here have something more on this. I don't know, what do you say they were, like decaying tachyon particles or whatever it was they mentioned?
Correct. It's teleportative technology. I know this is Alpine and they handle medical fields, but I will ask around to see if they know anything.
I want to say I'm assuming it's some type of technology. That hum, that under the power lines hum, got louder until they just disappeared.
Oh, using my total memory and like experiencing and watching and hearing Shown teleport, does her teleport make any similar sound or no?
Great question. Not when she was not around power lines.
Okay.
So when she was around power lines,
Mhm.
then yes.
Yes.
Were there power lines right around us there?
Yes, there was.
Is there a connection with that ability and electricity?
That could indicate that due to the nature of quantum field theory, that tachyons can interact with the electromagnetic field. We will need to do more experimentation to see how that interacts directly.
Do
Need to speak to
is there
Shown.
tachyons in space?
Yes.
Can I roll against my astronautics just to see if I can put any ties to it?
Sure, if you want.
Maybe, I mean, if I get lucky, then I might have. No.
Yeah.
Say no.
Yeah, that one was like the class you slept through, just in school.
I slept really well.
Yeah.
That was an 6.
There is a difference between biology and space travel.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I know both though.
With that said, just because Hyperion would be in this technology field is this universe, because like in reality, tachyons are these theoretical particles,
Right.
but in this universe, are they actually known amongst the human scientific field, or are they still theoretical according to them?
No, yes, they are known.
Okay. Do they are they able to generate them or find them or something
No,
else?
at this point, your standard scientist it knows what they look like.
Okay.
So they can identify them. They haven't created any sort of technology that can replicate that, which is one of the reasons why this whole teleportation thing is so baffling. Somebody is basically way ahead of the curve.
Right.
Is there now? I might not be, because I mean I'm familiar with some of the things of the systems. Like I wouldn't be able to build my ship from scratch, but I can work on certain aspects of it just from the basic maintenance and stuff. And I probably know just a little bit more with my astronautics and that. Is there that sort of technology on my ship?
That's a stretch, given the fact that you're not like an engineer of that nature. But I'll give you a reason check.
I mean, have I heard the engineers talking like about
No, you definitely
tech-
haven't heard anything like that. So you're kind of going off of potential random knowledge. So go ahead and roll your reason.
Okay.
You're going to need a red result.
Nope.
Okay.
Not as bad as the /6 though.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Has anyone reported to Aegis yet about this?
About what?
Everything that's happened so far?
I don't understand the question though.
We have been corresponding with them.
Yeah.
They should be well aware of everything.
Yeah, either you guys or Warner's has been keeping them appraised of what's currently going on and what you found out.
Okay.
Was Amazing Man a super soldier?
Who are you asking? Somebody in particular, or are you just asking me as the ST?
As the ST, did we know what his powers were?
You could find out.
Is it common knowledge what his powers are? If I don't know, then I'll
give
ask
me
Warner.
give me a reason check. You're going to need a green result, but obviously you don't have any skills to recall this.
83.
Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, so let me get this pulled up real quick. Amazing Man is also a Golden Age hero. I prefer some of the more modern designs of him. The original design was pretty hokey, but is what it is. He typically has super strength and endurance. He has so basically super strength and invulnerability sort of thing. And he also has the ability to make himself disappear into green vapor.
Is it known what the origins of his power are?
That part, it is not known.
Okay, then I will ask Warner's if he was associated with super soldier programs.
She shrugs. She says, "Not to the best of my knowledge. I'd have to ask my mentor, the original Warner's. If you,
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I think she may have worked with him before.
I wonder if this is if it's related, in essence.
Maybe I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I'll talk to her and let you know what I find out.
That would be it could be useful.
And out of character side note, the Marvel character Iron Fist was originally patterned as an homage to the original Amazing Man.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Fun little tidbits. Dale, why don't you give me an intuition check?
Okay. $11.
All right. Hey, they've got a high-tech coffee maker here.
Hmm.
Not that that does you any good, but that's that was an interesting observation.
Hmm. Interesting.
So she said, as she talks to the technicians, and she says, "Well, please notify me as soon as you know more. I'm definitely going to want to be here if he wakes up. But I should probably get back and talk to my mentor and see if she knows anything in particular."
Keep us apprised.
I definitely will. With that, she waves and exits, past their security brigade that they've got down here, and they're keeping everything on pretty tight lockdown.
Has anybody come up like from Aegis Foundation to like act as guards for Shield or anything like that?
The belief is they're sending someone. That nobody has showed up just yet. They have to obviously go through some negotiations with Alpine Technology again for the whole proprietary information and their own security purposes.
We should stay here until Aegis Foundation has established security for Shield. In the meantime, we will need to determine several things. On my end, I will need to determine more about teleportative technology. At the same time, those of us who are medically inclined, we need to see if we can determine why this group would be stealing individuals' tissue samples for super soldier serum infused blood. What would they be doing with it?
Well,
I
there would
also
be,
wonder if this is in connection with that possible Genesis project that we encountered with relation to Blood Goblin.
it is quite possible that they're looking for specifics of their personal genetics, because similarly to how vaccines affect certain people better than others versus vitamins and other, standard common drugs or up to narcotics, they affect different people in different ways based on their biology. It is quite possible that in this case Shield and these other particular super soldiers as they were, um, had perhaps a specific combination to their genetics that once they could single that out or identify that, then they would be able to see which individuals would be most receptive or even more receptive to the serum, as opposed to, I would assume that through experimentation in their super soldier serums, that some people did not fare so well, it is safe to say.
I would say that's incredibly accurate.
The I suppose you would have some personal experience with that, wouldn't you? But the Genesis project was experimenting on deviant blood, though, right? I wonder if there's ever been um, attempts made at augmenting deviant blood with super soldier serum.
Perhaps. Because are not deviants, they are simply a mutated human. Certain pieces of their genetic code have been enhanced or have been mutated from the original Homo sapien.
Meta-active is a better term, or SPB.
This
However, I
seems
don't feel like getting on a high horse tonight.
this seems to be in relation to what we experienced with the Fairsight crisis. The individuals Blackout was working with, they were wearing similar garb to the old school Nazis that we just encountered. They may be trying to use this information in order to perhaps create specific types of empowered beings, tailor-made villains.
It is quite possible.
I would
We
not
will
be.
need to redouble our efforts if we can with regard to how the dark serum actually works and how it can be countered.
Is there, as another potential, has there been any difference in the gender's relation to the drugs? Is it more susceptible to men versus women?
We would need to have access to the files to determine that.
Your friend, did we know of your friend that was addicted? Out of character?
I think I would. I mean, I would have mentioned her. I'm not sure I ever found out what her powers are.
Yeah, that's actually never come up. Only that she is deviant.
Yeah.
And that she was addicted to the darkness or to the dark or whatever it was?
Yeah, so she experienced super strength, I just remember the whole like irritability and craving.
These attributes were not there prior to her using this drug, as far as you know.
No, that's correct. That is correct. So apparently it has been experimented on meta-active individuals as shown in most of the gang that Blackout acquired.
There have been many deaths attributed to the dark.
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it just
there's no official records as of yet because it was so new, but yeah, I mean,
they've publicized that some people have died of they're assuming overdose or something, but yeah. I said it is quite viable that with the genetic nature of this drug, as it were, that those that died may not have been a particular overdose as you would have with an opiate or narcotic, but would be something that just was not compatible with their own DNA, to where whether it was bringing out a latent gene of a potential deviant or meta-active, but if they did not have that latent gene and it has not manifested, if they were a purebred Homo sapien without that potential, then perhaps it is fatal. It is potentially fatal, or maybe accurately always fatal to a human.
I would be interested in seeing the if anyone collected it, the comparison of that substance on regular human versus mutated DNA.
We would probably have to get that information from Aegis or Hoplite. If it was collected from
Blackout's lair.
Yeah. Excuse me, I need to go use the restroom. And he's gonna excuse himself to the bathroom.
Okay.
Oh no, there's reasons for this.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
He's going to pull off the armband and
I
look
thought
under his
as an excuse to actually like take a bio break.
Oh no.
No, that was Derek.
And he's gonna check his arm.
Okay.
Same place again where the pearl was closest to touching skin.
Yeah.
Over the month, has it only been whenever sleep was being used, or is it any time?
Yeah.
Just sleep?
Yep. Sleep is what you draw from the pearl.
Well, I also draw like focus from it too, but that's
Hasn't come up.
Yeah. All right. He'll wash off his arm, like do some first aid stuff, like get it cleaned up, make sure that it's like no infections, and then he'll go back to the group after he dries off his arm and puts everything back on the way it was.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
Brittany, why don't you go ahead and roll your intuition?
$65 on incredible.
Okay. You're forgetting one important World War II superhero that you could have been asking questions to.
That I could have been asking questions to or about.
Or two, essentially.
Somebody that I know
Yes,
who was around in World War II.
correct. You're genetically related.
Oh, my father. Wait, we can't ask him. Wait, what? What?
Doesn't he have a computer?
Yeah? Okay, I guess we can,
The point being is it dawns on you that he was, for reasons you guys really haven't figured out, he kept a whole lot of notes about stuff.
Oh, okay, so you're saying that we would be able to access his notes on this sort of thing, like his
possibly.
database of heroes.
Yeah,
You're not saying that he was also a super soldier.
right.
Yeah.
Because he clearly wasn't.
Right. That's why I was confused.
Gotcha.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, no, so I'll mention when we get back to the vein, we ought to search the computer for these individuals, see who shows up in the database.
I agree.
Did I miss anything?
Just Brittany being dumb.
Stop.
I was contending with an unruly 5-year-old who thinks he can stay up as late as he wants.
So, with that being said, Aegis does eventually show up, and they've negotiated additional security parameters to ensure that S.H.I.E.L.D. is safe. Freeing you up to leave at this point, which they tell you that if his condition changes when they alert Warners, they'll let you know as well.
Excellent.
Is there any way, and I know he's lost a lot of blood, that we can have a sample? I want to test it against something.
They look at you kind of funny, like, I'm sorry, what?
That's a no then.
Yeah, we're sorry, sir. We're not authorized to do that sort of thing. We don't have that sort of medical release. We're treating them on an emergency basis.
I understand. I thought I would ask. Worst you could do is tell me no, and then I can go about my way.
Any of his blood on anything that, I mean, like on our clothes or anything?
No. Yeah, no, nothing like that.
Is there blood in the jet?
I was
He wasn't even like bleeding externally, though, was he? It was just
no, yeah, it was
mostly
internal
injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my thought.
He had like probably a couple scratches, but not enough to
pull
up or nothing. Yeah.
Too bad.
So you guys head back to the vein then?
What about a hair sample? Would that do anything?
Actually, it
Well,
would.
it'd be better. I mean, it's easier to work with, but we should head back to the vein and look at our awesome computer.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Well, eventually everybody gets back. It is evening time by the time you guys manage to get back from the traveling and the waiting for security to show up at this point. The pilot is retiring for the evening. And so who is doing what at the crime computer?
Was I able to find any hair samples from?
No.
Not even in the jet?
Not even in the jet.
Lame.
I'll go ahead and go up to the computer and just pull up anything that cross-references, like search terms, super soldier serum, World War II, superhero, that whole jazz, to see what comes up.
Okay. So it's going to take a bit. It cross-references some of those items and indexes them, and comes up with some links that you can click on. That's in the computer. One of the hits, obviously, is Shield. Another hit is oops, I think I missed it. There we go. No, I did not. Hold on one second. Here we go. Oh, pardon me. So another hit was Ubermensch. Another one was Black Axeman. And there's some general case notes, just like written down on text files and whatnot that were transferred electronically, that talked about how all of the world powers, or at least many of the world powers at that point, they were making great efforts to try and recover the make the super soldier serums during World War II, and then during the Cold War. There's a side note there that unfortunately a bunch of the Soviet or former Soviet government secrets had been leaked onto the black market, and a race ended up quietly. A race began to find the remnants of the super soldier serums that had lay hidden since World War II. The ones who obviously made the most consistent advancements were the Germans during World War II. There's notes there that indicate that with the dissolution of the Nazi Reich, the Russians and the United States, with Britain, came in and tore through a lot of the paperwork, and just like real life, many of them co-opted scientists who had worked on various projects and whatnot. Nothing super specific there, but it does show that there was a lot of passing of information back and forth. Parties getting what they could, anyways.
Sounds like a good party.
It does note specifically that of the technologies that the United States were most interested in, he makes a note of this, is that they were never able to recover the technology for the innovation pad.
And what is that exactly, the innovation pad?
The innovation pad was the early attempts at teleportation.
Innervation is one of the words that made up the acronym for SHIELD, for what that's worth.
Yeah, what was that whole thing with the SHIELD acronym again?
It's spelled differently, but it's
Okay.
Sacrum.
Oh.
SHIELD. So SACRUM.
Mhm.
Heart. Innervation. INNERVATION. Eyes, lungs, and derma.
Okay.
Innervation pad is spelled ENERVATION.
He's going to try and see if there's anything that references Nazis with whips.
Sure. Yeah. There is one reference that references a Nazi and a whip per se. Or I should say, there's two of them. One is named Baroness Erika von Kampf. And the other is Captain Murder.
And eyes roll at the name. All right.
By the way, you can Google that one.
Oh, that's another real one, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Man.
Hey, I went with it. I didn't particularly care. I'm like, hey, that's right on the nose and super cheesy, and he's legit. I'm going with it.
All right.
So this might have been who we were fighting today.
On the Captain Murder information, does it does like the description or whatever match what we just witnessed?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and I found his picture. The same one.
Yep.
What was
But
the
does
other
it
one? Baroness something von Kampf?
Yeah. Baron. Hold on a second. Baroness Erika von Kampf.
Okay.
Does it mention any sergeants or lieutenants for Captain Murder?
No. These notes are just written down kind of ad hoc. Not really formatted for clarity per se, but you don't get the impression that a lot of the from looking at some of the notes, you don't get the impression that a lot of the Nazi super types in general worked together a whole lot. Their unifying force was usually, dedication to the Reich.
Okay.
What was the woman's name?
Baroness Erika von Kampf.
And does it show, or do we have any info on Captain Murder's abilities?
Captain Murder, at the time of the World War II, was believed to have died during World War II, was a murderous soldier. So he is, known for, the only thing really he was known for was an electro whip.
Yeah.
All right. He's gonna take a look at the Innervate project as well. Does it dictate, because Electrum was so far advanced from everybody else, does it dictate if it was short range or long range?
There's a note there that it's presumed for long range use.
Any notes about tracking beacons or anything like that, or just
No.
they can never figure it out and it's just kind of stopped there?
Yeah, no, there's no notes because he didn't have the project at hand. It was just there. It's one of those secrets that like when the Nazis were working on jet fighters, people like scoffed at first until they saw them.
Yeah, okay.
That sort of thing. It's like, they saw enough of the higher advances in technology that the Nazis had at the time that they didn't dismiss it. So they were actively looking for something of this nature because of the utility purpose of it. You could strike from any location really at any time, which would put your enemies in peril. The only couple things that Electrum put down was that such a device would require a large amount of energy, presumably. It likely isn't underwater anywhere because the radiation portion of what's required would distort that, so it wouldn't be able to send from underwater. And then there's a later note. There's a later note that it could have the technology could have been taken. The technology could have been taken. There's a side note there that possibly Reich Shield found a way to obtain in New Prussia.
All right. He's going to.
That's Daddy's arch nemesis.
Guys, I think I have an idea about where they're probably firing this up at. They're probably
Good
at a
tell.
power station of some sort.
That seems logical.
So, if they are on American soil, we could probably get Hoplite or Aegis to look into if there were any significant power spikes. That would also explain why it sounded like humming whenever they were teleporting in, and why there was a small delay on subsequential to planet teleportation. So we're looking at
Wait.
3 power spikes
Oh.
in a short period of time. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Do you think this might also be how they took the ship from Area 51?
I don't know
Almost
about
certainly.
that, but it is possible.
I wonder if if we could find records for power usage from that area.
I go on the computer, go on the internet, and see if we can somehow get information on like any publicly available first to see about like energy usage in that area of the world at the time that the ship disappeared.
What area of the world?
Like Area 51.
Oh, okay. No. For 2 main reasons. One, it's still the 90s, so nobody's collected that sort of data and made it available for anybody online. 2, no one's going to have that sort of record publicly available for Area 51.
Okay.
Would the surge be from the point of origin or the point of the target?
I would imagine point of origin. I doubt. Let's not jump to conclusions and assume an entire government is behind an outdated ideology.
We could find out and verify
So
there was a power surge from the point of. Well, we could narrow it down to see if it was from the point of origin or the point of extraction, based on the city of Hemet in which we were just at. If there was a surge there today, then we can at least assume that it is at least the extraction point, if not maybe possibly both.
it could be both. It might also have to be connected through the power grid as well. Is that an out of pocket thought?
That's at this point, you guys are just spitballing, so all questions are fair.
Okay.
I would like to see it, because if this is a potential of how my ship was stolen, I hadn't shared this much because I was hoping that we would have found it by now, but the rest of my family, I have not spoken to them in quite some time, and on my trip here prior to my crash, just prior to my crash, my homeworld had been attacked.
Do you know by who?
It is possible. I mean, do I know of any like particular hostiles against us at that point in time?
There are a couple of alien races it could have been if that was the case, but you didn't really receive any official word as to what did it. It's more like tuning in at the last possible minute and hearing disaster on the other end.
Right. I was unaware. I mean, it could be a possibility from 1 or 2 warring races in my local star system. However, it was not confirmed. And the technology here is, at this point in time, even with our advanced technology, and even Aegis, from what I understand, do not have the capabilities to reach that far.
Understandable. We will need to do research and experimentation. We need to have a better handle on teleportation and that technology. See if we can protect ourselves further from it, perhaps in a portable manner, and take advantage of it. The Vane has interference field generators that allow for that to happen. As I mentioned earlier, I'll work on creating a portable version, and we will need to do more experimentation to see if we can also replicate the teleportative effect, to know how it interacts with power lines, how much energy is needed. Right after I said that, I look into the computer, and I already know I looked up the like anti-teleportation technology. Does the Electrum have any information on like how to like? I guess the enervation pad was like a technology back then that was supposed to be a teleporter. Is that right? Or like,
Correct.
okay. And that was that the only piece of that technology that he knew of at the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The other notes that you guys have garnered are all newer ones that after the theory behind the technology had kind of been worked through.
Okay. And just for reality check purposes, like teleportation is not like a typical technology that like scientists have like figured out or anything, I'm assuming. Okay.
Nope. No, your standard scientists, it's all still theoretical.
Got it. Okay.
Star Trek.
Yep. And with that, we'll go ahead and stop for the night. We've gotten a good 3 hours of gameplay in.
Right.
So good deal. And maybe next game you can run some of your tests on Shone.
Sweet.
You're like, hey, we got a job for you.
Guinea pig.
Your blade.
Now see if you can teleport.
So, so the next. Good night, Davy Jones. Thanks for staying around, dude. And have fun looking up all the World War II heroes and villains that I name.
Yeah.
Because after I said Captain Murder, he laughed, and then I guess he looked it up, and he's like, "Oh my God, he's real."
Nice.
Yep.
Like those M Santa's commercials.
So our next game is going to be on March the 19th. Sound good?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
So.
Yep, looks like it.
Cool.
I think so.
Alrighty, so thank you guys for all tuning in and watching and hanging out. We are going to go ahead and tune out from here. Next game, of course, will be March 19th. The game before that will be on that February, which would be March 18th. It should be our vampire game. So stay tuned until then. Thank you guys, and have a good night. Good night.